Hey guys, Andrew here, Rollaway Covers. Today I'm going to take you through how to install a cover shelf on a Hydropool Swim Spa. Let's begin. We're going to open up the box, take a look at what comes inside, and show you all the contents. Inside the box, you're going to find the shelves located inside. You're going to have a left and a right. You'll determine the left from the right based upon the location tab and where the pre-drilled screw holes line up with the horizontal and vertical support frames in the spa. There are your two shelves. You're also going to have a set of instructions that explain the difference between left and right and how to install. And you'll receive a package of hardware. The package of hardware should include self-tapping screws. Now, you'll notice this particular hardware I got does not have self-tapping screws. This happened in a series of shipments that came where they ran out of self-tappers and they sent just regular screws that are not self-tapping. So what you're going to do in this case is we're going to pre-drill or pilot drill the hole with a drill bit so that this screw can be used. If you have self-tapping screws, you can use that, but again, this is just on a rare instance that the package does not come with self-tapping screws. So we're going to go ahead and show you now how to position the shelf on the swim spa. So the shelf, as I mentioned, has a location tab, okay? And we can see how the tab runs down on one side of the shelf. The idea is you mount the shelf against the swim spa, flush to the top of the acrylic. You take that location tab and slide it over nice and tight to the gap lap, or the transition strip. You'll notice we have a pre-drilled hole here, here, and here. If we look at this top hole is not directly over the vertical support. This hole should be on the opposite side. So what we need to actually do is take this shelf and swap it. By switching to the opposite shelf, we now have the same mounting tab or alignment tab, but it's going to mount on the inside of the gap lap. This will put the screws over top of the vertical support rail, and the one on the top will actually hit the inside or the horizontal metal frame that is located behind the cabinet. So one of the common things that came up and is brought up by a lot of our retailers is when this shelf is mounted against the swim spa tight to the gap lap, we occasionally get a bit of sag or the shelf wanting to rock forward due to the weight of the shelf. The reason that occurs is that in this upper 5 inches, there is no frame behind the cabinet. That way the screw that you're going to use won't attach to anything because there isn't anything above. We have a fix for that. So effective August 2021, we have requested that all cover shelves will come with a new piece of hardware inside the box. And they are a mounting tab, just really simply an aluminum bracket that will fasten onto the back in this fashion. So we can see it's going to mount 50% of the way down with 2 screws. And what this is going to allow you to do is now when you mount this, that piece of aluminum is going to hook behind the shell when you fasten it to the cabinet. And that is going to prevent and eliminate any rocking from the shelf moving forward. So we're going to go ahead and install that now and move on to the next step. So now that we have the metal clips installed on the back, I want to point out that if you look at the clip, the height of the clip should be no more than 1/2 to 3/4 of an inch above the top of the shelf. If the clip is sticking up higher than that, it will not fit underneath the shell of the swim spa. So as you can see on the swim spa, we have a rolling lip where it comes out even further, and that's where the gap lap tucks under. This tab or this metal clip, if it's higher than this rolled edge, it's not going to fit underneath this top lip, and it's going to force the shelf to kick out or bend out forward quite a bit, putting undue stress. So 1/2 inch to 3/4 of an inch on top here is all you need, and it will slide right up underneath this lip. So to go ahead and get started to install the shelf, you're going to need basically 3 main things once the tabs are installed. As I mentioned, the screws that come in the kit are going to be 5/16 head. That's 5/16 head, so you'll need a 5/16 nut driver. You'll need the washer that's on there. If they're not self-tapping, you'll need to pre-drill, and of course, your 5/16 nut driver. Let's go ahead and install these shelves and show you how that's done. The next question that comes up quite frequently is, now that the shelf is installed, how do we remove the lower portion of the panel with the gap lap installed? Well, we undo the top bolt and the bottom bolt, or the middle bolt rather, and the bottom screw from the gap lap on both sides, and that's going to give you lots of flexibility in the gap lap in order to remove the lower section of the panel. Once we remove both of those screws, we can go ahead and give a push in between the two, the left screw and the center screw, to expose the top rail. Give it a little tug, and it will easily slide out and around the gap lap. Put it back in. I'm going to drop it onto the lower hanger. Slide it over to like that. We've got it back in. We can go ahead and install our screws on the left and right side, and we've got our lower panel installed back on the spot. And that's it. So now we have installed the cover shelf, the clips on the back, and we have shown you how to remove and then reinstall the lower panel with the brackets on without having to take them off. Hope you guys found that video enjoyable and helpful, and we look forward to your further feedback, and we'll continue to make more videos to help you guys out in the field. Thanks.